Yo, what is up, guys? What is poppin'? We are back with the PMC Orange League. We are finally here with the finals of this season versus Trevy the King and the Atlanta Braviaries. Um, we kind of got lucky in the conference finals to make it, here to be able to play him for the title. Could be our eighth ship, so that's kind of high. And obviously, Trev and I we have a little bit of a history, so I figured this should be a high one. Put a lot of thought into this prep. Shout out to my boy Gypsy King who helped me a little out with some sets. Offered some thoughts, obviously. And yeah, we are here with the defensive Cobra Berry Tangrowth, which basically takes on any form of Landorus, even a Z fly Landorus. Like I can just protect on a supersonic sky strike and then beat it 1 vs 1 with the Giga Drain and the Leech Seed, obviously, to get my health back and shit like that. Then we Bandit Crawdon with dual stab, obviously. Mimikyu with the Sword Stance, Shadow Claw, Shadow Sneak, and Taunt with the Spooky Plate. My opponent doesn't have a Ghost Resist, which is definitely something I want to capitalize on. Like Taunt is obviously so that what's called Toxapex can't recover up on me or haste me or something like that, which is cool. Lopunny here is a dual step attacker with the Taunt Pass and what's my last move? I don't even know my last move. I return Rain Punch, Baton Pass, and Substitute, obviously. Yeah, but the plan is to like potentially set up a Substitute Baton Pass out on the Toxapex into something that can take a Skull from this thing, for example, my Crawdon, my Mew, or my Mimikyu, without having the sub broken, and then set up and go from there. Gligar here, I felt was a necessity as it functions as a backup check to Landorus, and also can defog away hazards from the Scolipede, from the Toxapex, and obviously Stealth Rock from the Landorus. It says Earthquake, Roost, Defog, and Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail is a 3 KO on Landorus, so that's kind of cool. Can't lower my attack with the Intimidate because of Hyper Cutter. I can go from there. Aromatisse, which you brought, is a big problem, but I feel like I can abuse that potentially as setup fodder. And the last one I bring is the Mew, which is a win con this week, and I think a mon that has like a very high chance to win the game. Psychic, Substitute, Calm Mind, and Roost. My opponent has one Psychic Resist in Bronzong, and he didn't bring it. Mew is like faster than Lucario, max HP, and then some bulk in there. I can set up substitutes on the Toxapex as well as the Aromatisse. Once I'm at +1, Aromatisse can't break my sub. I can go from there, set up potential to +2 or 3 with the Calm Mind. Scolipede can't revenge me because I'm Tanga Berry. Landorus I outspeed and can kill with the +2 Psychic after some prior damage if I want to. Lucario doesn't really function as a check because I'm 100% sure he's gonna bring a special Lucario at +1 or +2. Dark Pulse is not a 2 KO and I can roost off the damage on that thing. If he's not live up, even +1 is enough to tank 2 Dark Pulses from that thing, which is cool. Tapu Koko, which my opponent brought again. I knew this was going to be a bulky Calm Mindset. He beat me with it in week 1 when he got a 1-0 win versus me, and I knew he was going to bring it again. I knew he was going to bring a special Lucario again. I knew it was probably either a Spike or offensive Scolipede. I figured offensive Scolipede has some more merit because you can set up Toxic Spikes with Toxapex if he wants to, but it could be Spikes plus 3 attacks, which makes sense with like Poison Jab, Mega Horn, and Aqua Tail potentially, or Earthquake, which like does a hefty chunk to my squad, even without a Sword Stance boost. Landorus I figured was a Z Crystal user, but I figured it was not dual dance this time because of his lack of a rocker. So I figured this has to be Rocks Landorus, maybe with like the Z Fly or Z Stone Edge, Earthquake, and then like maybe Utah, maybe SD. Because my team is very slow, I figured it doesn't necessarily need the rock polish, so I'm not sure about that. I figured this was like just gonna be a Cleric Aromatisse, but I really have trouble breaking that thing without my Crawdon or my Mew, so I have to like be careful around that. I think I decided to lead off with my Gligar because I don't want his Scolipede to set up spikes all over me. As my opponent actually decides to lead with Toxapex. That's fine, I can just fire off an Earthquake on the first turn. as you potentially will set up a Toxic Spike. I get a crit on the first turn, but it doesn't really matter because Toxapex roost up, recovers up on Gligar all day, unless I get like 2 super crits or something. But as he's like out of range of my Gligar, I defog away the Toxic Spikes. I don't have anything to do with that as he goes for the recover. Now we'll go into my Tangrowth, knowing that he will potentially go for another Toxic Spike. So we'll try to leech this thing so that I can potentially like have an easier time breaking it. Go for the Leech Seed here, so he goes for the Scalp, doesn't get the burn, but the crit doesn't matter obviously because he gets the Leech Seed off. Sets another layer of Toxic Spikes. I will go for the Leech Seed here, covering his switch and potentially I don't think he would wants to stay in because Tangrowth beats this thing 1 vs 1. I missed the Leech Seed unfortunately on the Aromatisse, which is kinda annoying because now I have to bring in my Gligar, go for the defog and take a Moonblast, which is really unfortunate because that puts me kinda low and I don't want to be low with my Gligar, but yeah, what can you do? Now, goes for the Moonlight, see that's 28% with the Leech here, probably would be close to 85 or 90 even. Landorus comes in as a defog. I will go for the Aqua Tail here to guarantee put in range of an Aqua Jet from my Crawdon. He might want to set up his rocks, but any damage on Landorus is good because once I get rid of Landorus, he only has potential like special attackers left plus Scolipede. Special attackers are all hardcore walled by Mew. Even if I have to go into a Calm Mind War with Tapu Koko, with Substitute and Roost, I feel like I have a very solid chance of winning that one, especially if I can like stall him out of his electric terrain. And like Scolipede can't revenge my Mew because I'm Tangle Berry, so once I get rid of this Landorus, like Mew is looking clean. My opponent doesn't really have much has much value. I go for the Aqua Tail to get some chip off. He will still have the Toxic, which is really annoying, but I can live with that. Aqua Tail is 32%, so this is probably a max HP, but not defensive Landorus, or like some HP, some defensive, stuff like that, so that like kinda adds up to max HP, but yeah, gotta be mindful of that thing. It still can hit pretty hard with base 145 attack, or 140, I don't know. So decide to, I think I either roost up or switch out. He goes for the Stealth Rock as I roost. I figured he doesn't have the knockoff because he has to have Stealth Rock. If he has the Toxin, then Earthquake knockoff is the best coverage for my team. I figured he's much more likely to have Edgequake or the Fly plus the Earthquake. So I defog again on this next turn, I think, as he switches out into Toxapex one more time. I'm pretty annoying. I can't really break his hazard setters, but as long as I get in my Mew on a turn where like he just sets up the Toxic Spikes and not like on the turn where Toxic Spikes are up, I'm in a solid spot. So I got to my Mew on this turn, I think. Boy Gypsy King here. So he sets up another layer. I will go for a sub, I think, even though I don't want to reveal my set too early. I could have gone for like 2 Psychics here to knock out the Landorus, potentially depending on the rolls I get. Go for a Psychic now, as you see, like it's guaranteed 2-hit KO, and yeah, that's kind of unfortunate, but what can you do? Coco comes in on my Substitute. I will roost off the damage here. I predict him to go for a Thunderbolt, and I could start Calm Minding up because I feel like once I get rid of the Electric Terrain, I beat this Coco 1 vs 1, especially if he's a fatter variant, which I expect him to be, so he can take 2 Earthquakes from Tangrowth. But like I figured he was just spamming Thunderbolt, or in case he is not a Calm Mind variant, he would U-turn out, and I don't want to lose my Tangerberry just yet. So I decided to make a middle ground play and go into my Gligar. If he Calm Minds up, that's bad for me, which it would mean that I have to sack him on. And he actually does Calm Mind up, so pretty interesting. On his part, he doesn't, like, I haven't revealed my entire set yet. I could have, like, the Z Earthquake, for example, for the Coco, or Z Sludge Wave, which would have done, like, a ton of damage, but yeah, Calm Mind works out for me as I save my Mew, because it's, like, still my win condition, obviously. And I go into my Gligar. I don't want to take an HP Icy, which would knock me out, even from a fat, uninvested Tapu Koko. And I go to my Lopunny. I have to sack him onto this Tapu Koko here, basically. Hidden Power does a solid amount, but I will just fire off a return and sack my Mega Lopunny here. Doesn't do too much versus this team anyway, besides potentially revenging Lucario, but I'm already in range for Life Orb Vacuum Wave, so getting chip off on this thing is fine. Can go into my Mimikyu now, scare him out potentially. Can't really let me SD up here, but I can't really risk him roosting up on me and stalling me with my with the poison with the poison damage. So I decided to just go for Shadow Claw here, which is my safest play. Toxapex comes in. I can SD up on it. I get a crit, which is nice, but also doesn't do too much. I get hurt by the poison, but I decide to SD up here. My opponent actually goes for the second layer of Toxic Spikes. Don't know why. Doesn't like, obviously it's nice versus the Mew, but I can still like I can still do some damage versus defog away the Toxic Spikes with my Gligar. I taunt him here, so I can't really recover. I'm at +2. I will go to +4 now because I still have my Decoy, my Disguise, and that allows me to get off a big hit here. Scald breaks the Disguise, obviously, but I'm poisoned, so I don't get like don't get shit on by the Scald burn, which is cool. And he sacks his Landorus here. I'm at +3. Shadow Claw will easily knock it out, and now get another crit, which is Hyper. It doesn't matter. Now he goes into the Scolipede. I will fire off a Shadow Sneak on this turn. I figured he might want to go for Protect to potentially get more poison damage up on me, even though like it doesn't make too much sense for him to go for the Protect. But had I SD'd on his Protect here, I could have been a +5 and fire off a huge Shadow Sneak, which like would really be hard. But I decided to just Shadow Sneak on his Protect here, which like Shadow Sneak at +3 would do like over 50% to a max HP Scolipede, and like 75% to Scolipede that is at full. I figured because he has the Toxapex at full in the back, I figured he wanted to save his Scolipede here and like not like let me get damage off, because it's the safest way of revenging Mew, and like a Shadow Sneaker would put it in range for Banded Aqua Jet from Crawdon. And once I get rid of Toxapex with my Mew, potentially it's basically pretty easy to put a team in range for Banded Aqua Jet to like put in quite some work. Obviously Aromatisse has to get down, but if I keep my sacks, I can like just switch around, sack him onto Aromatisse, fire off a Crab Hammer to get a kill, and then go from there. Pretty interesting decision which he that he has here. I figured his best play was going hard Toxapex 100% of the time. I will fire off a Shadow Claw here because I felt risking Scolipede is like a really bad play in the long run, especially with my Mew potentially being a setup variant. I don't know if he like had that in mind after seeing Substitute Roost and Psychic. Probably thought I would have like a second coverage move, but I actually didn't. I had Calm Mind, and like had he allowed me to hit him with the Shadow Sneak here, that would have been a really bad play on his part, or like really bad for him. Not like a bad play on his part, but really bad for him. So I go for the Shadow Claw, predicting Toxapex to come in, but my opponent actually decides to go for a Poison Jab and knock me out. So had I gone the Shadow Sneak off, I could have gone into Daunter and then like get a big hit off, but that doesn't matter. Like doesn't matter too much. Stun or die, obviously. I can go into my Gligar now and defog away the Toxic Spikes, even if he wants to go into Toxapex. Now I can go back into my Mew on that thing and go from there. Now I could roost up on this turn. I don't think I do that because I want to get my Mew in safely. And yeah, now we're talking. Mew is back in. I think I just go for a sub here. I probably should have gone for the Calm Mind, but I still didn't know if this thing packed the Toxic or if it packed the Haze or something. But like obviously I think Calm Mind was still my best play, just because it would have allowed me to guarantee OHKO the Scolipede, would have allowed me to 2-hit KO Toxapex, would have allowed me to 2-hit KO Lucario guaranteed, and would have allowed me to keep subs up on Aromatisse potentially and beat Tapu Koko 1v1, because Tapu Koko at 49 can't stall me out with the Roost, obviously, because +1 Psychic does like 50% at least. So I go for the sub, which is was probably not the play. I will fire off a Psychic here. Maybe should have Calm Minded up here, but just want to gauge the damage. He goes for Dark Pulse. I know I can go for the Calm Mind here on this turn. If I get the Calm Mind off, Dark Pulse would do like 45 to 53. I could roost it off. Go for, once it gets low roll, I can go for another Calm Mind and then roost off the damage that would put me after the life of damage. I have 4 hits basically, and like I could have three roosts or something. I could have potentially like be at a range of health where Scolipede can't revenge me. Like even if he sends in the Scolipede, I could go hard Gligar, potentially roost off the damage he wants to do. especially if he's like a Earthquake variant over an Aqua Tail variant, and then I can go from there. So had I Carmined up here behind the sub, I would have been in a really good spot. Now I will go for the Carmine to go to +1. He goes for a Flash Cannon on this turn, and he crits me. So Flash Cannon at +1 would have done like 30%, maybe even 28, maybe 37, I don't know. But I would have been at like 40% without a crit. Could have just roosted up to back to full. Dark Woods wouldn't have to come. I could have gone for another Carmine, be at +2, roost off the damage until he kills himself with the Dark Woods, and then potentially sweep. Scolipede comes in, does like 45 max to me with the Mega Horn. If he hits, if had he missed the Mega Horn after that, the game was already over. And like, depending on his investment on Coco at +2 or +3, depending on how much I can set up, I basically am guaranteed to sweep if I like can take a hit from the Coco, obviously, plus the Mega Horn from Scolipede. Like, just would depend on how much he would do, how much I would be able to roost up to. At a nice amount of health, I could have gone for another Carmine or just killed the Lucario, obviously. But yeah, he crits me, and this is basically GG. I am in range of a Vacuum Wave. I think it's almost impossible for me to to defog away the Toxic Spikes and then be at a in a position where Mew can set up, because even if I like, let's say I sack my Crawdons here to the Lucario, go into Tangrowth on the Earthquake, he sends potentially out Aromatisse, I go into Gligar, and then he can like just go Scolipede or Lucario or Coco on my defog, knowing that I have to defog away so the Mew can roost up, and like that would have been like just as much game as everything else. So I'm in range of the Vacuum Wave. Really tough crit. Had he not critted this turn, but the next turn when I went for Rooster +1, I would not have been in range from a Vacuum Wave as well. It was the only crit he could get at the only point in time that wins him the game guaranteed at this point, puts me in range of Vacuum Wave and knock me out. This, like, at shoot a crit Flash Cannon here, the life of Flash Cannon easily, and that's the only turn in which this crit actually would have put me in range for the Vacuum Wave. So really unthought. Obviously, like, not his fault. You can't be like afterwards told me that I was a really good spot about the hex, but like, being mad at the player for hexing me would be the same as getting mad at a waiter because your food is cold. Like, it's not their fault, obviously. So yeah, Mew goes down, and I have lost this game. There's nothing I can do. I can't go into my Tangrowth here. Still try to like somehow position me into a spot where I can sweep with Daunter, but it's basically impossible because Aromatisse can just wish spam all day. I go for Leech Seed here. Doesn't really make a difference because like my Gligar already is toxic. I can't stall anything out. I can now either go into my Daunter or my Gligar. I don't think I go hard into Daunter because if he goes for the Moonblast, that would have been a bad play. He actually goes for the Wish, which is rough. So had I gone to the Daunter, I could have gone for a Crab Hammer, knock that thing out, and then maybe somehow win, but probably not. Like, I think I do just spam Earthquake here. I know that I have to get in Crawdon safely, but yeah, what can I do? Without Mew, this game was impossible to win. Like, I feel like I had a very good shot at winning the game without my Mew going down. Maybe I should not have gone greedy or anything, but that was the best spot I felt where I could set up with my Mew, even though like I still could have gone into my still could have set up in front of Toxapex or the Aromatisse. Even if I get poisoned by one layer of Toxic Spikes, it still wouldn't have been the game. But yeah, it's like I felt like Mew had a very high chance of sweeping this game and winning this game for me. I won't say that I would have guaranteed won the game. Obviously, I don't know his entire Scolipede set. If it's the Aqua Tail, it's really tough for my Gligar to beat it 1v1 because it was toxic. But yeah, I felt like if we play this game 100 times, I think I probably win it more than 50 times. I don't say I win it like 78 times or 85 times, but I like my opponent really didn't have a lot from you. Once Landorus went down, he only had special attackers left plus Pete, which I actually beat 1-1 because of Tangerberry, and yeah, like would have put me in a like Mew would have was like just a huge win condition. Like it was a in my opinion, an even bigger win condition than his Carmine Coco, even though it put in the work, obviously, and picked up like 4 kills or so. But, yeah, what can you do? It's part of the game. Like, I could have won the game. Maybe should have won, but I don't know, like, Theory Morning, that is pretty unnecessary. Congrats to my boy Trevy here. He actually deserved this, this title, I think. I didn't put any effort at all, basically, into the PMC besides this finals match. I just came here to play Trevy again and potentially get another chip. Could have been my 8th title. Kinda sad, but just a little sad. So GG to my opponent, obviously. And like I gotta say, I'm really happy that the PMC is over. It was an unorganized shit show of a league. Like not trashing anyone in charge, but like the doc was updated like after 8 weeks. We still had like no transactions on the dock that happened in like week 2 or something. It was really annoying to like prep for because you never knew what what mons your opponent had. You never knew what what the other guy's records were. You never knew where what your position in the playoff races. What was like really a terrible organized league in my opinion. But I'm glad it's over with, to say the least. But yeah, I had fun. Obviously, I had a very fun squad to use. Sadly, I couldn't pull it off in the finals, thanks to crit. But what can you do? That's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like and a comment if you did. I now only am in 2 leagues, or 2.5 if you count TGL as a league. It's just like us, like friends playing with some memes. But that's cool. I have more time to concentrate on NPL and ITL, which basically are the only leagues that matter for me. And I will play in the Summer Showdown tournament hosted by the Token Minorities. That should be fun. Got my boy Monotui in the pool play. I am so excited to shit on him. Overrated ass player. So be hyped for that. So that like will I think we streamed on the weekend of 25th to 27th or something. So that should be hyped. Definitely go check that out. I will do my best to make it out of pool play undefeated and then try to make it as far as possible in the tournament. Definitely should be an interesting tourney for me. I usually don't play at level 100. I don't know shit about the speed tiers. I have to learn everything by heart. But it should be fun. Like you definitely should be hyped for that. So thank you guys for watching. Leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed, and catch you in the next video. See ya.